What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, for the duration of this week and previous week, we have Chris Abacon back on the show. So definitely, if you have not checked out Chris in the previous week, definitely go back and listen to those episodes, as well as a really good interview with Darren King Jr. for the Thursday Ask Us SP. He is in the defense industrial base. So self-starter entrepreneur type guy. But Chris has been with us for our Monday and Tuesday topics, our Wednesday discussion. So all that stuff was really excellent last week, and it'll be excellent this week as well as he went over his origin story on the previous rundown of last Friday. So if you normally don't tune in for those because it's movies, books, games, all that good stuff, definitely tune into that one because he breaks down his background and all that other good stuff. But I'd like to jump into today's topic. So this one comes from Bleeping Computer. It's written by, I can't pronounce the person's name. I think Sergio
Gutman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everybody's better at this than me. The title of the article is Google makes it easier to remove your info explicit images from search. So Google will soon make it easier to remove your personal identifiable information and explicit images from search engines right from Google Search or Google App. This can be done with the help of the Results About You tool, where you can then request for those, your phone number, your address, even down to some pics that probably shouldn't be on the internet, can all be requested to be removed. So what are your thoughts about this, Chris?
I think this is an extremely welcome change, especially for guys like me who have fairly unique names, right? Not so many Chris
right, you're always
out
going to
there.
pop up.
I'm going to pop up regardless. So, I mean, have you ever done a search on yourself, right? Especially if you know the city where you live in or somebody else lives in, chances are you could find that person's address history, where they've lived, as far as in Florida, right? You can see how people are registered to vote in which party, right? So that's a very intrusive, or I think very personal information, right? And to be able to get this striked or at least obfuscated by Google is a welcome change. And I'm glad Google's finally kind of getting to this, privacy by design type, methodology. I'm not kind of in line with how Apple's been working for this longest time. But I definitely think it's a welcome change, and more of the search engines and people with this level of responsibility, I think this is something that's been needed for a long time, especially for people like me with a unique name. So that's my little 2 cents there.
Yeah, definitely. You caught me actually Googling myself. So
yeah, for sure. In fact, I'm going to go through it, right? I'm going to go through this really right now, actually, while I'm gonna see what I can find about myself.
What you can find about yourself?
Yeah, why not?
So you might not like it.
I might not, right? So I'm gonna go do this real quick.
Okay. So what I was able to discover about myself, so I'm not number one in the search because there's so many of me, so that's great. But if I put my senior on the title, I actually do pop up first at Rai Security Guy on Instagram, which I haven't posted anything on Instagram in probably a year or more. It never really caught on to me. But I used to put the show on there in really bad formatting. So if you ever tried to watch it, it just didn't look good. It wasn't Instagram specific material, so I stopped doing it. But yeah, you can find my obviously my LinkedIn pops up. The podcast doesn't pop up to the very bottom of the search, but then there's also a Ryan Williams in the playing for the Cardinals. So he pops up mostly, even goes over his salary. He's making over $1 million. Congratulations to that young man as well. And so I'm a little bit buried. So that's good. I like that. But you probably pop up a lot.
yeah, I'm not happy with what I've seen. I mean, my Instagram's up there, and then there's other stuff I definitely think shouldn't be on there. I mean, it's a little bit crazy actually. So I'm on there right now. So Results About You. So it's myactivity.google.com. And it says here, take control of your results, and it's kind of in this beta phase. So I'm clicking learn how. So I'm doing this right now.
Yeah, we're gonna remove some stuff because so we talk about as consultants, right? Like GDPR is a massive shift in the industry, because the UK just seemed, or the EU, I should say, I'm sorry, the EU seems to be very forward facing when it comes
Mm.
to their citizen base, right? So their implementation of policy, cyber policy specifically, seems to impact the entire world, because whether you want to or not, or whether you want to or not to believe the world is more global, more than ever. Just look at these policies, right? So PIPEDA from Canada, GDPR from the EU, they're all having significant impacts on how we write policy, because the internet reaches people from those countries, regardless if you specifically target them or not. So it adjusts all policy. And we'll see that with the AI framework as well, that's coming out of the EU, the AI Act, that's already within their parliament. So you're going to see a lot more of these friendly policies. I know Apple's already currently doing it. And now you see Google is also making their thing happen. So what were you able to learn?
So it's actually pretty easy to use, right? So I'm on the main Google page. So there's right by the URL on the very top, there's the three dots or ellipses. I don't think it's
Yeah,
ellipses technically, but there's a
it's
three
it's
dots.
ellipses. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah,
that.
it sounds smart. But if you go here, right, and then you'll see more options tab or window pop up, and then you're going to click on remove result. And then it actually has options for you. Why would you like to remove this result? And it says here, because one, it shows my personal contact info, shows my info and intent to harm them, it contains illegal info, yada, yada. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Okay.
click it.
How do they know
Contains
it's
personal
specifically
info.
you? Do you have to be logged into your account?
So I'm logged into my account
Oh,
right now,
okay. So that's the
correct?
verification, is this is me
Correct.
because this is my account. Gotcha.
So I'm gonna go click through this real quick, and then it gives you a spiel of how it works. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit continue. What happens next? Google reviews every request to make sure that it meets policy requirements, then gets back to you with a decision. So, okay, then here is where it says request removal as my email address. We'll use this email to provide updates to your request status. So that's pretty much it. You had continue, and then let us know the details. So I'm just gonna type my name in here.
That's pretty cool though, how intuitive it seems to be.
Right,
Oh,
and
I
then
wonder what
it's
the return is. Like it won't happen on this episode, but you'll let me know so I can let everybody else know how long it took for them to get back to you.
right, and it actually has my information about my it's part of my personal information. So I'm gonna annotate and highlight what part of it is to right there, hit continue, and then send request. Send. I'm done. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to
Not bad.
continue doing that, right, for about three
Like
or four
all
searches
your
here.
things.
Yeah. But and one cool thing is that I found that there's a company called Abacon Capital. So that's kind of
Nice.
cool, and then now I can't take that name for my business eventually, but whatever.
Yeah. Like, hey,
But
you
yeah,
owe
that's
me something.
I highly definitely recommend everybody listening at least give it a shot. Type your name, if you have a junior or you're a third, and see what you find, and then make sure you're logged into your Google account and remove it through the steps I've just provided. But it's pretty easy. But I mean, if you see something on there, definitely get a. You don't want that stuff on available to everybody. That you don't know what's out there to get you.
Right, right. What's their motive by
Mhm.
that having that information? That's really smart, and I think people should look more into that. What I will probably do, because I can't scrub everything, because I have to have somewhat of an internet presence, right? I can't be Shannon. Shannon
Yeah,
is
yeah.
non-existent on the internet. I'm sure if he hears this episode while on his travels, he'll probably search himself up and remove what little is left of him on the internet. But in my case, you have to have somewhat of a presence so people can reach me to get on the show and things of that nature. But I don't want you to have my cell phone number. So if I find that on there when I get
Mhm.
it scrubbed, I don't want you to have my address. We do this virtually. I'll show it to my house. So I'll get that scrubbed.
For sure.
Um, but no, that's good stuff. So yeah, definitely check that out. The article will be in the description. Um, definitely I always forget, like, share, subscribe. All right.
There
So
you
we're on
go.
YouTube. We want to grow that channel out. So I want to hit 500 by the end of the year of subscribers. We're about half of that right now. Definitely continue to check out the podcast in this audio format. We do about roughly 600 to 650 downloads per month, which is actually really good for a show this size. So we definitely want to continue to grow that. We have about 350-ish listeners. So we definitely want to continue to grow that out. So please continue to share our content. Hit us up at the websites that go by our name. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. And you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Abacon. Last name is spelled A Bacon. Should
A
be easy to find
Bacon.
me.
There it is. No, unless you erase yourself, right? So
Right.
definitely continue to tune in. Stay safe, stay secure.
Peace.